Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of the brand new podcast, officially titled, now, nobody laugh at this, but All Stuff, No Fluff. This is a podcast in which I hope to be able to bring to you guys on a monthly basis, talking about video games and all sorts of other stuff. Today is a very special day, as it's not only the first episode, but I also have a few friends with me to help kick things off here. So I guess since this is the first episode and everything, we'll just kind of go around the table and you guys can introduce yourselves really quick. Starting with you, Sam.
Oh, okay. My name is Sam. I have a YouTube and Twitter and all of the above called Nintendo Fangirl. So I talk about all things Nintendo.
Yeah. And I'll link everyone's things all over in the description, comments, wherever they end up landing. How about you, David?
My name is David. I'm the head of content over at Condiment RDW on both YouTube and Twitch. I make geeky nerdy stuff for geeky nerdy people. I do interviews, streaming, also host podcasts and vlog and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah.
Thank you, David. And Amanda.
Hi, I'm Amanda. I host Zelda News at Zelda Universe, and I also host the Shine Sparkers podcast and stream on my Twitch channel, Panda Princessa. And I just show up places and talk about video games.
And Mr. Yoshiller.
Hello, humans! I'm Yo Schiller. You might have seen me at conventions wearing a Yoshi hat, but seeing as conventions are going to be away for a little while, you might better know me as some other YouTubers' editors, because I edit for a lot of people now. But I do what I can.
the guy on the internet that wears the Yoshi hat.
Yeah, I'm losing my uniqueness factor, but I'm trying to hang in there.
And lastly, the man, the myth, the legend, Push Dustin.
Yep, I'm Push Dustin. I have like 3 jobs right now. I work for Did You Know Gaming, doing content for them, and I also work for Q Games now as part of their community and PR management. And I also run a podcast called Memory Card, where I do obscure video game history.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yay. Awesome. All right. So, first of all, congratulations to everyone here for making it into 2021. I know these past 12 months have been a wild ride for a lot of us, and let me be frank in saying that I'm glad to call you all friends, and I'm glad that you're here with me today to talk about video games.
Me too.
Speaking of which, why don't we go ahead and jump right into things here. So today, we're going to be talking about some of our expectations and predictions for Nintendo in 2021. So, before we begin, I would just like to see if we can all come to agreement here over how 2021 seems to be just the year for anniversaries for Nintendo. I mean, we have, just this year alone, we'll be seeing things like Zelda's 35th, but we also got Pokemon's 25th, Donkey Kong's turning 40, Metroid is turning 35 this year too. Heck, even Kid Icarus is turning 35 this year as well. Reasonably speaking, though, I mean, we can't expect to see major events for all of those, but boy, does that list make me excited to hear what you guys' predictions are. But
Pikmin's turning 20. Everyone forgets about Pikmin, but it's turning 20.
Oh my God, you're
Pikmin 4,
right!
please,
No!
It's okay.
Yeah.
That means Pikmin can almost drink.
That's true.
You know,
Well, the blue one's been doing it, but yellow
Yeah.
and red probably can.
blue one's the bad influence. What was I saying? I keep forget. Yeah, before we get too crazy though, why don't we start off with the titles we already know Nintendo is releasing this year, starting with, as far as I'm aware, the only 2 first-party titles that Nintendo has actually announced and dated, that being Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury and new Pokemon Snap that are coming next month and April 30th, respectively. So why don't we just go around the table here and gather everyone's thoughts on these games, starting with you, Amanda.
Well, I am ecstatic about Pokemon Snap because I remember playing the first one and I got it like right after it came out, and I always had fun going to Blockbuster and putting my cartridge in the little kiosk and printing out my stickers. I would be wearing my big baggy cargo shorts or something because, I was cool stuff at 14, let me tell you. And I go in, I pull it out of my pocket and be like, yeah, that's right, I'm printing off my Pokemon stickers. So I'm really excited to see a return of that, and I'm hoping they'll do some kind of I know you can still share screenshots, but it's not the same as going and getting the physical copy. So I hope they do some kind of just unique community sharing with the pictures. And then
I hope so too.
And then the Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury, that looks so much fun. I played a little bit of the original 3D World, and I don't think I ever finished it. I think it was one of those that I was like, well, I'll wait until like my niece and nephew are over, and then they would come over and we'd end up doing other things because, you know, I just do whatever they want. And so I never actually finished that one. So I'm sure I'll get it. I mean, it's like, it comes out like a week after my birthday, so I may as well just get it then and be like, hey, Mom, this is what I want for my birthday this year.
Nice. I'm so glad you mentioned the whole sticker thing. I saw so much discussion about that game, and I was like, man, I remember going to Blockbuster with my friend, because my friend was the only one that like had a mom that was cool enough to take him there. And those stickers are actually still on my trading card binder to this day. There's a bunch of pictures
so
of
cool.
Charmander on the lava level. I forget its name.
Well, you know, they had a contest when it came out of like if you could take the highest rating picture or whatever. So I managed to get like the high score on taking a picture of Mew, like the highest possible score you could get. And so of course I submitted it, and apparently a whole bunch of people submitted that same one, so they ended up doing like an essay contest afterwards. So I made it past the first round and I got to the essay contest, and I was like, I don't want to write an essay. So I wrote some like weird little like Pokemon fanfic that didn't even make sense because I didn't quite know what they wanted. So I didn't win anything, but it was still pretty cool.
And you got a Pokemon fanfic out of it.
Exactly.
It's true. What about you, David?
Yeah, 3D World, I actually wasn't super planning on grabbing. But Bowser's Fury, of course, was the switch that made me decide to get it. So that's gonna be great. I'm actually hoping it's a little longer than I think it might be. And also, I'm wondering what else is gonna be in there, because Nintendo likes to just like spoil some things unintentionally in their trailers. Because I think Goku Super Saiyan Cat Mario was probably the big reveal. But and then Pokemon Snap is gonna be great. I wasn't super into it when I was a kid, but I'm just really looking forward to like the new trailers and stuff. The visuals are amazing. So yeah, I'm really excited for it. Like, this is one of the best looking Pokemon games I've ever seen.
Yep.
So
So 3D World was not my favorite Mario game. I don't think there's anything wrong with it per se. I'm just not all that into like the more traditional platformers. That being said, I am really into the free roaming 3D. So Bowser's Fury caught my attention, and I'm super looking forward to it. I'm picking it up pretty much just for that. And then Pokemon Snap, I'm a super long time fan of Pokemon Snap. I've been asking for it since like the Wii U was first launched. So I was so surprised and excited when it finally actually got announced, and I'm really looking forward to it. My only concern is that I'm really hoping it's not going to be like a 4-hour game. It does have a lot of the original has a lot of replayability, but it is insanely short. So I'm wondering if that's what we're going to be facing again. And then I just want to give a really quick shout out. It's not a Nintendo developed game, but Bravely Default 2 comes out next month. And that's another known factor that I'm super excited for this year.
That's not a Nintendo developed thing, is it?
No, it's Square Enix, but
That's
it's
right.
only on Switch.
See, I catch a lot of flack for this all the time, but I've never played Bravely Default, and I've never played The World Ends With You, and they're both getting like really, really, like they're both being talked about really, really recently. So
It's very important.
I haven't played
really
either
need
of
to
them
get on
either, and I
that.
want to.
Oh my gosh,
I'm
want
actually
to
playing
also.
Bravely Default right now. I'm like 8 hours in. I just started playing it like last week.
I love that game.
Those are both on 3DS, right?
Yep.
Okay. I need to find where I put my 3DS. I remember I packed it away years ago because I was like, I have the Switch now. Haha, the future is
Yeah.
now. And
Yeah, I
now
don't
I'm
use
like,
mine very
crap.
often either. It gives me
Now
bad.
I'm
It gives
like,
me bad
where is it?
migraines.
Yeah, it's.
Oh,
Man, it's such. Switch is just perfect.
Oh, World Ends With You. World Ends With You is actually regular DS, not 3DS.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
true. I guess I could still use the. Wait,
Oh yeah, you can
I
still
can
use it
the
though.
3DS
Yeah.
for it, but I guess what I was trying to ask is like, isn't that getting like a remaster or something?
There's a new game entirely coming out in the franchise. I think like later this year.
That's also for 3DS.
That
No,
one's
that's
for
for the Switch.
that one's for Switch.
Oh my god.
Plays dramatically different from the original.
I'm so out
Yeah,
of the
it's,
loop.
it's all Switch all the time now. No more 3DS Switch ports. It's all Switch. All in. On Switch.
Please, God. All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and pass the baton over to Push Dustin as well.
So yeah, I'm really excited for Bowser's Fury. Like, I did not play 3D World for the Wii U. I'm one of those people who unfortunately missed it. But kind of reading about it and looking into it, I think this is probably exactly how I want a Mario game to play as. So I'm really excited to actually go and go through it and play through the main campaign. And of course, Bowser's Fury looks pretty sweet as well. Like most people, I'm a little bit worried that it's a little short because it seems like there's like 4 like I'll just call cat shrines for each island, and then you go to the next island. So and they haven't said how many islands there are yet, so I'm a little bit worried about that. With Pokemon Snap, I'm not so worried about the length because I feel like with like Snap, they focus on replayability and like trying to get the high score with the different Pokemon poses and stuff like that, and uncovering secrets like that. So I'm really excited for that because I think that's like more suited for like arcade type of play.
Yeah. When you said, when you mentioned 3D World, and you said that style of game, like, what did you exactly mean?
Just like being like the 2D 3D mix, and then also playing with friends.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm really excited that you can actually play online this time.
Yes.
It's
gonna be so fun.
especially now with the pandemic.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be so fun. It's just a toss up on how well it will run. But I'm hoping for the best, as I usually do. And then Yoshiller, what do you think?
Yeah, so to add on to Dustin's point real quickly, I'm very happy that 3D World's coming to Switch. I did own it on Wii U, and I will double dip because I did enjoy the game that much. And I'm glad that we are in a timeline where 2D Mario games, sandbox Mario games, I guess we'll call them, and then this kind of 3D Mario game that functions like a 2D Mario game can all exist on one system. I'm glad that Nintendo's able to do all of them and people will buy all of them. 3D World in particular, I would love more games like that, but I also really enjoyed Super Mario Odyssey from what I played, so I'm glad that we can have both, and I'm glad that that's what Bowser's Fury is kind of trying to be. Even if Bowser's Fury is short, it kind of reminds me of the days when you'd buy one of the Game Boy Advance Mario games, where you'd buy Super Mario Advance, and it comes with Mario Brothers, the little multiplayer game, and that's just something extra for you on the side in case you didn't just feel like playing Mario Brothers 2 again. So, even if it's only like an hour in length, which I'm kind of assuming it will be, I'm cool with it. I'm really glad that 3D World has online, and that's just cool. The idea that it works just like we want it to, 4 people can hop on one system and play any level anytime, or, well, I shouldn't say anytime, play any level that someone has unlocked is cool to me.
True.
And then new Pokemon Snap, I mean, I'm super hyped for that. I am one of those guys who played Pokemon Snap over and over and over again, because back in the day, I would play like 6 or 7 games at once, and when I didn't know how to beat one, I would just play a different game instead, and I just always knew how to beat Pokemon Snap, so I kept going back to that game. And these days, I can beat it in about 36, 37 minutes. And
oh my god!
I really like Pokemon Snap, but I never was able to take up the opportunity to take my game to Blockbuster and print out my pictures. So
Me either.
yeah, so I
It's
wouldn't
an
mind.
experience.
I wouldn't mind being able to do that, but I think in the middle of a pandemic, that's just not going to happen. I don't think they're going to be like, all right, you can take your game to Walmart and get your pictures printed there, but you got to wait in a 2-hour line because 6 feet of separation and whatever.
They should do it as a reward for my Nintendo.
Oh, see, now you're
yes.
talking.
Wait,
That would
Yeah.
be
Oh,
so
that'd be
cool.
pretty
that'd be so cool. What the heck?
But I'm very excited for that game. I just can't explain it. I've wanted a sequel to that game for so long, and I remember people used to go around E3 asking fans, what game sequel do you want the most? And Pokemon Snap always
Yeah,
scored highly on the list. And the
Oh, yeah.
Pokemon
Yeah, people have been saying that for years.
Yeah, and the Pokemon Company did officially respond when you're saying, you know, we see you, we just don't have any ideas for a sequel. And it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? The
It's a
Wii
game where you
Give me
take
the
pictures.
reins. 3DS would
You
have
don't
been
need
perfect.
ideas. You
Don't
just
worry,
take
I'll do it.
pictures.
Yeah, the Wii has motion control. What do you mean you don't have any idea? The gamepad on the Wii U was... Oh, God. Okay, anyway, we're finally getting it. It's just like one of those things that you think Nintendo would never do, and now they are finally doing it, and that alone makes me happy. And again, even if that's just another 2 or 3 hour game, I just want it. It just makes me happy. It's one of those feel-good games. So that's
So I
my...
just did
I'm more
a-
hyped
I
for that
feel
than
that
3D
so
World right
much.
now.
I feel that so much.
So I just did a quick Google, and apparently Pokemon Snap only had 63 of the 151 Pokemon in
Correct.
it.
It was going to have
Yeah.
64,
We're in like what
though.
the 700s now.
Yeah, so new Pokemon Snap confirmed has at least 200 Pokemon. We don't know the exact amount just yet, but if they're saying at least 200, then I'm assuming it's going to be between 200 and 250 and probably not much more. But the original Pokemon Snap game only has 63. It was going to have 64, but Ekans was cut for some reason. But this game...
Oh,
They
I
could
didn't know
totally
that, actually.
do DLC too.
Yeah, we'll see if they do DLC. Considering it's made by Namco and they did DLC for Pokken, I would not... I wouldn't say that it's unlikely, but it's all going to come down to sales versus development cost. I mean, there looks like they're putting a lot of money toward this game. This is a lot of effort for a spin-off game, but I would be down for DLC, even if it's only like 10 minutes. I just want it. Give me all the Pokemon Snap. I'm just so excited. This is my game of the year right now. And I'm also going to get Persona 5 Strikers, Scramble, whatever it's called in English in February, even though I've never played Persona 5. So
Ooh, I'm playing through it right now. Let me tell you, it's really good.
yeah, some of my roommates play a little bit of it. It seemed hype.
Anyway, so for these games, particularly 3D World, I'm not really so much excited to play it again as much as I am to give it another chance. Back when this game originally launched, that being 3D World, it was during that time period of time where I feel like there was a bit of a drought for 3D Mario games. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I'm pretty sure it was 3 years after Galaxy 2 and about 4 or 5 years prior to Odyssey, that being the latest one. However, these past few months, I think I've gotten way more than my normal fix of Mario thanks to the 3D All-Stars collection and the Mariothon that I played over on Twitch after its launch. 100%ing all three of those games, let me tell you, was an adventure. So yeah, being able to come back to this game at this point in time where I feel more open to the idea of smaller, more focused Mario platforming has me really excited. Not to mention the fact that this game is apparently going to be faster all around. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I think the engine is going to be running a little bit faster, thus making the movement a little bit quicker. And it's also going to be including with it both online multiplayer and the Bowser's Fury expansion thing, which is incredibly gnarly just from the very small footage that we've seen so far. Kind of seeming to me like it's striking a fair balance between classic 2D and Mario-style Odyssey, sandboxy gameplay, which I think is really cool. I really dig that. Plus the whole fight sequence with Mega Fury Bowser and what I can only describe as Kaiju Mario. I don't know if he has an official name yet, but I honestly can't just believe that's a sentence I just said out loud. But yeah, I'm very stoked about this game, and new Pokemon Snap is a very special case in that, look, I've been waiting for this game for, 20 years now? And how can I not be excited about that? I remember, to add on to Amanda's point, I remember being able to take my original Pokemon Snap over to Blockbuster, printing out all those little stickers and stuff. As I mentioned earlier, I still have them on my binder full of all my Pokemon cards, so really excited about the potential prospect of that. Don't expect it to be a thing, but that'd be really cool. And it was also one of the first games I owned on my Nintendo 64, the original one. And that was also, I think, the first game console I owned as well. That might be something I'd have to ask my mother about. But I was immediately taken away with it. And at that point, I was already knee-deep into the Pokemon craze at the time. So, needless to say, this was one of my favorite games growing up. I distinctly remember pouring hours upon hours into trying to find all the little hidden secrets and interactions that you could find in the game. And this was, of course, in a time before online guides or YouTube videos were a thing. So I had to do either all of that searching myself or ask my friends on the playground. And all of that effort was actually so worth it. So I'm really hoping for this new game that there is that same spirit of the thrill of the hunt, and I so desperately want to see all these Pokemon, which they're stating, of course, as Yoshiller said, they're going to be somewhere around the ballpark of 200 of, in their natural habitats, interacting with one another. The trainers, the original Pokemon Snap did such a great job of making it feel like you were literally on a safari, stumbling upon what these Pokemon were doing in that moment, and it felt organic in that way. So things like that, and I also think it'd be really cool if there was support added for Labo VR. I think that'd be really cool as a potential down the line. I know not everyone owns that, but
oh yeah, they're for sure gonna resupply those
Yeah, that would
VR sets.
definitely.
That's the first thing I
That
thought
would
of.
definitely sell me on it, because I don't own one at this point. But if that was the thing that was added at some point to this game, sign me up. I think amiibo support could be cool too. Leaderboards for friends would also be awesome, and just there are just endless possibilities with a game like this, and it'd be so cool to see Nintendo incorporate some of them. Especially considering all of the content and services that they have available now, as opposed to 20 plus years ago. But at the end of the day, though, I'm just excited to play a new Pokemon Snap. As I said earlier, I've been waiting 20 plus years for this thing, and even if it ends up being near identical to the original as far as execution goes, I'm likely going to walk away happy regardless. So, but yeah, those are our thoughts on that. So I guess now that we've covered basically what we already know of for Nintendo's 2021, why don't we go ahead and move into the predictions category? Ooh, pretend there's like sparkly effects coming out of my hands or something. So I guess this is going to be sort of like we've done in the past, sort of like popcorn reading. So I guess we'll go ahead and start with Amanda. What is one prediction that you would like to see Nintendo come to fruition in 2021?
I mean, with it being the Zelda anniversary, I could definitely see a port, a 3D, not 3D, an HD port of Ocarina of Time. I mean, it's been on every single other platform, so it seems silly to not have it on the Switch. So I'd love to see some sort of like anniversary package for Zelda games. As much as I want to see Breath of the Wild Part 2, I definitely would like to have an anniversary package just to have it, just honestly for the convenience of having as many Zelda games as possible on one platform, so I'm not having to swap consoles around all the time.
I'm all for convenience.
One question I do have, when you mentioned the Ocarina of Time specifically, which version of that game would you want? Because there's a few of them.
The version that they put on the 3DS to me is the best version. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, it might not be everybody else's, but I
know
like
there's
that
definitely
version the best.
Yeah, I know there's definitely opposing opinions. I agree with you. I do love the 3DS version the most, but I know that's a pretty big point of debate for some people.
Yeah, to me, it's just more polished, and of course, and I'd love for Majora's Mask to be on there as well.
Ooh, yeah, Majora's Mask. That's another game that I really need to dive into a little bit more one day. I feel like I haven't loved on that one as much as I have every other 3D Zelda game. How about you, David?
Let's see. Let's go through this list. How about... Okay, yeah. I want to see Pokemon Unite. I'm pretty sure we're going to see Pokemon Unite this year as a beta or fully released on mobile and Switch.
I mean, probably, right?
Because, yeah, since we're like in the Pokemon 25th anniversary and we got the Pokemon Snap release date, and then I think it was just the week before that, that's when they revealed Pokemon Unite for the first time, or it was the week after that. But yeah, it seemed like they had a whole bunch of plans for it, so I'm hoping we actually get some more news on it this year.
I hope so too, especially considering all those like goofy costumes that have made their way onto the internet. I like that they're adding that sort of skin system to it, because whenever I first saw the game, I was already, as most people were, drawing parallels between that and other mobile games like League of Legends and Dota 2 and blah, blah, blah. And those games are really heavily into the idea of buying skins. Like, that's how they monetize. So whenever I first saw that trailer, I was like, dang, I wouldn't really be too opposed to paying for, like, Shadow Mewtwo or something, or, whatever other, like the Squirtle Squad. So I think that's really cool that they're adding those fun little outfits to all the different characters, I guess, if you will. I mean,
yeah, the costumes do look cool. I just fear microtransactions in a Pokemon game. That's the part that makes me worried, because I feel like some kids aren't gonna know any better. Versus League of Legends, I don't know the exact demographic for that, but I assume it's a little that the people that play that game are a little older than Pokemon fans and probably know better. I don't know. I like the costumes and I'm excited for them, but I don't want to do any hot takes, but I can't help but feel a little worried about that. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
I mean,
Yeah.
Pokemon Go is like one of the highest grossing mobile games of all time.
Yeah,
And that game is monetized like crazy.
I mean, it is. I don't know. I guess I feel different about a mobile game versus a console game, and I know Pokemon Unite is both. So that's why it's a gray area for me. But it's different, and in Pokemon Go, the game is free to play, and the items you buy assist with making the game easier and more convenient. versus pure cosmetic. Unless they do change your characters around, in which case that's a bigger problem to me. But that's just okay. I don't know if I should say anymore. I am like half excited for Pokemon Unite and half concerned about the monetization, but I also would like to see more of it just so I can clear my thoughts about it.
Yeah, it'll be cool though because it'll be like a major esports title. Because I'm pretty sure they're gonna like when they first showed the game, they basically gave us a preview of what they want like the competitive scene to look like.
Right.
So it'd be cool for like the Nintendo platform to have like a really powerful game in that type of genre. Because like Splatoon's one of Nintendo's major shooters, but it's like it's not to the same extent as like any of the other big ones that are out there. So it'd be cool if this one like really took off as a competitor. Since League of Legends is also even dropping like their own mobile version this year, it'd be cool if like Pokemon Unite was a major competitor to that.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I think just to kind of validate your opinion a little bit there, Yoshiller, I think part of me is excited. I will most likely hold my final opinion until I actually see the pricing, because I think that is where it has the potential to lose me, because for a game like League, you know, you have different tiers of skins, and obviously the higher the tier, the more expensive they get. And I know, I think the highest tier that they have is called Epic skins, which are like really, really decked out. They're super animated, you know, special sound effects in game and what have you. But those are like $30 per skin.
Yep.
So
I definitely have at least one $20 skin.
Yeah, well,
which is...
I'm not gonna lie and say I haven't bought into one of those before. But for a game like Pokemon, which is a game that I know that I will see a bunch of skins that I really, really like, which I already do, because one of them is the outfit that Lucario wears in one of the movies, I think.
Yeah, it's based off of, what's the guy's name? Riley?
Yeah.
It's based off his outfit. I know what you're talking about. Or it's,
I saw it and I immediately recognized it.
Yeah, it also looks similar to the guy who gives you the Riolu egg in Diamond and Pearl, if I'm not mistaken. But I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's the one that makes me go, oh, that's cool. It's not just random colors like in Smash Brothers. These are actual references to other things that happen.
Yeah. So I guess to wrap up my thought, like, I look at it and I'm like, ooh, that's so cool. But how much is it?
Exactly.
You know, that's kind of my feeling towards those skins at the moment.
Last thing really quick, I started looking it up as you guys were talking about it. One, these skins are pretty nice, and two, I forgot there's actually trainers in this game.
Yeah.
As your profile avatar.
Yeah.
And you know they're gonna give out trainer outfits too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
so I kind of
Oh,
agree
man.
with Yoshiller on that point because of that. I think he makes a pretty good point.
Look, if they want to make a bunch of money, all they have to do is make it so you can look like Cynthia, and I'm sure they're going to sell millions. That's all they have to do.
Oh my god. it's true.
Give me a big blonde wig that covers one of my eyes, and we'll be good. A big black coat. We're set.
So I think, you know, with this year being the anniversary for Donkey Kong, I think we'll see a Donkey Kong title this year. It's been a while, and yeah, I'm expecting like a full like maybe you know, like Country Returns kind of style gameplay, but maybe made by Nintendo themselves this time.
Oh crap, this is another confession that I have, but I've never fully completed Tropical Freeze.
Oh, that's okay. That
Oh, that's a great
I
one.
haven't either.
I've heard it's so good. I'm such a bad gamer.
I'm thinking about how good that game will look on like the Switch engine too, because it already looked really great on Wii U, but like the Switch could probably push it up a couple notches, and that game was amazing.
I mean, they also could just do like a spiritual revival to Donkey Kong 64.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Is that a hot take? Do people like that game? I don't even
I
know.
love that game.
Oh yeah, people love it.
I think the general consensus is that it was like meh. Like there are some people who really love it, but I think like compared to Banjo-Kazooie, everyone was like, but I'd rather play Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
quality-wise, maybe not like 10 out of 10, but personality,
Right.
11 out of
Oh,
10.
yeah,
700
way up there.
collectibles though, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there.
you had Linky.
And you also had Candy Kong, and
Boy.
she was the coolest. I wanted to be her.
And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's where the DK rap originated from.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
The legendary song. Okay, yeah, we need another spiritual.
Yeah,
revival of
another
that.
Donkey Kong game would be amazing.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, there's so many anniversaries. It's so weird. What about you, Sam?
Sure. So I'll go kind of thematically with what Amanda said. And I think it's going to kind of be the year of Zelda, more in the latter half of the year. And I'm going to say maybe Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh.
Fingers crossed
it's
for
time?
holiday 2021. I think there's a good chance of it.
All right.
Do you think that it's possible that Breath of the Wild 2 and a Zelda Anniversary Collection occur in
I
the same year?
do. I don't know what I feel like we're gonna get something anniversary collection wise. I don't know what it will be because there's so many possibilities, and I don't think it's gonna be whatever the all out version is because there's so many games that could remaster or just be ported straight to the Switch that would make people happy. So I don't know what they're gonna end up doing, but I think it's totally feasible to have both.
Ooh, I actually do. Since we have Amanda here, what would you put in that 3-title collection?
Three-title
Curious to know your
collection.
opinion.
I would definitely put Skyward Sword in it. I would put Ocarina of Time. I mean, if I got to pick, I'd put Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Skyward Sword would be the ones I'd put in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here's the one that most people wouldn't say. Since we got Link's Awakening, I would love remasters of Ages and Seasons, and then
Yes.
also just for the heck of it, put Minish Cap in there.
Absolutely.
So just like a Zelda handheld trilogy thing, that'd be great.
Now would be the
Wow.
perfect time for an Ages and Seasons remake on something like the Switch because we're back to that era where people would be willing to get 2 different versions of a game and connect with each other to unlock everything. Now would be the time.
Yeah, and Awakening did so well too.
Do you guys think that there's a possibility that those would be 2D Zelda games included? Because in my mind, I kind of picture 3D, but maybe it's just because I'm used to the way they're handling the 3D Mario collection.
It's super
In a collection, I think they would do 3D, but I don't think it's out of the question for them to release 2D Zelda games on the Switch in the future some other day.
right, because I mean, even with the GameCube, they had that collector's disc that had the 2D games on it as well as 3D games. So I could see them at least making them playable on the Switch, even if it's not a full-on remake. As much as it would be so awesome to have a Link's Awakening remake style of Minish Cap would be really awesome, and it would be so cute and already the perfect design for it. But I could see it just ported over again, so you could just play it in its originality.
Wow, there's so many possibilities.
Going
for
back really quick to the prediction of Breath of the Wild 2, going off of Age of Calamity, since they're already working in engine with that series already, I'm pretty sure they probably have the amount of cinematic insanity that's in that game probably carrying over to Breath of the Wild 2. So that one's gonna look super crazy. I'm looking forward to seeing what moments happen in that game.
I really hope so. That was one of my favorite things about Age of Calamity. It's not really a spoiler, but that game has so many cutscenes in it, and they're all beautiful. I just wanted more, as spoiled as I was through that playthrough. So I really hope they go that direction for Breath of the Wild too.
Yeah, we're at a time where we're seeing the Zelda franchise getting so much love on a scale we've never seen before.
Nom, 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 nom. Yes, that's me consuming all of it.
So I'll be a little bit different with the Zelda Anniversary, and I'll say that we'll probably get Breath of the Wild 2, but in terms of a game celebrating the anniversary, besides Breath of the Wild 2, I would say please a re-release of Four Swords. I think it's perfect,
Yes,
perfect on the
please.
Switch because then you can actually connect online.
Yeah,
That'd
they
be
did
so
that with
cool.
the 3DS, I think. So I don't see why they couldn't. Bring
Yeah,
it
they
over
did
to
that
the
with it.
Switch.
It was great. Yeah,
Yeah.
get it in that Triforce Heroes engine kinda, but in HD.
Okay, can I say that I loved Triforce Heroes?
I liked it.
I loved it too.
I
It
did
was so
too.
fun.
Not enough of my friends owned it. It was so hard for me to play with people I knew in real time.
Even when I was playing with random people online, it was so fun. Because no one knew what they were doing, and we would just use the little in-game communicator thing. It was all
The
of Link's
stickers.
emotes
Oh, yeah.
as stickers. Yeah, it was so fun, and I would love to play a game like that, even in the style of Four Swords or something, to be able to play online and Switch now. That'd be so cool.
having like a two-player Zelda, like a two-player 2D Zelda game on the Switch would be perfect, because then you could use the Joy-Cons. Like one person could play with each Joy-Con.
That's called Bomberman 64: The Second Attack, and that's like one of my favorite non-Zelda Zelda games ever. But we'll see. We'll see if Konami ever wants to do anything with that. That's okay.
Well, I guess considering that we're talking about the Zelda 35th so much, I'll go ahead and throw out my predictions for the Zelda 35th anniversary too, since it's all my notes.
Go for it.
So, Zelda 35th anniversary collection, including the what I'm gonna call core classics. So, Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker, and I'm not really sure whether Nintendo would opt into fully remastering Ocarina of Time 64 version or just porting over the 3DS version. I know that I would personally like to see the 3DS version, but I think just from the perspective of celebrating the legacy of the series, an HDified 64 version would probably make more sense in my mind. But honestly, like, no matter how you slice it, it's still Ocarina of Time, so I would absolutely love it. I also think that in addition to this, though, we might even see that long-awaited Skyward Sword HD remaster. Oh, honestly, I love Skyward Sword, and I know there's an everlasting debate about that game, but I really enjoyed it. I think the biggest challenge, though, would probably come from adapting the game's Wii Motion Plus mechanics, which were pinpoint accurate in my playthrough, and taking those mechanics and adapting them to the Joy-Con from a hardware perspective isn't quite as precise. I think that would be a pretty big challenge, because previously I had this thought about transferring Galaxy from the original Wii over to the Switch, and that actually works pretty well. But when you add on the layer of having Wii Motion Plus as well, I don't know how reliable that would be in like Zelda combat. So I don't know. I mean, I don't design these games, so maybe it is feasible. I just know that I would like to see it on the Switch. But other than that, in every single way, I think it makes total sense to bring this game over to a new generation and giving it a fresh coat of paint. I'm just imagining those beautiful hand-drawn landscapes and backgrounds and 1080p HD. Makes me want it even more. But yeah, I think that would be like the big thing that I would want from the 35th anniversary, is that collection or Skyward Sword HD. One or the other, or both, would be cool. And for Breath of the Wild 2, if I had to guess, I would probably say 2022. Because in my mind, I'm thinking like the original timeline was to have it released this year in celebration of the 35th anniversary, and that was what the pipeline was looking like. But I don't really think there's any way of telling how much the pandemic and stuff like that has really affected the development of those games. I don't know if we'll actually see that until, the games that were scheduled to release this year and next year start getting their dates to roll up. So I would like to see it this year, because that would add on to the more Zelda content to play in 1 year. But I don't know. So anyway, those are what I'm thinking about 35th anniversary Zelda. Does anybody else have any thoughts on 35th anniversary stuff before we move on?
Well, I do. I know I've been speaking over a lot of people's turns, and I apologize for that. I never really got to say my predictions, though.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
The thing is, although it is Zelda's 35th anniversary, I don't think it's going to be as big of a blowout as Mario's. We might get Breath of the Wild 2 this year. I don't think that's too far-fetched. I kind of think it's more likely that it'll come out in March or April of next year, and we'll probably see a trailer this year. If we're going to get anything Zelda-related, it's either going to be something in the vein of Skyward Sword HD, but like just Skyward Sword HD, probably not a collection. And then I would also say that Push Dustin was probably onto something. They might do 4 Swords on Switch or some sort of multiplayer experience. Just something to hold us over until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out like 3-4 months later. That's my Zelda 35th anniversary prediction.
See, I think the great thing about the Zelda 35th, potential is that I'll be fine any way you slice it. Like, if it's Skyward Sword HD, cool. I'll get the rest of the stuff when it comes out. If it's a collection, awesome. I can wait for Breath of the Wild too. So like, I think I'll be happy either way. But
For sure.
oh man, it would just be so cool to have all this stuff sooner rather than later.
Skyward Sword could totally be like, I mean, it's not only the 35th anniversary of Breath of the Wild, it's 10th anniversary of Skyward Sword. So
Oh,
that's
great.
what's kind of
Oh my
making me
God.
lean towards us getting something like that.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I cannot believe Skyward Sword was 10 years ago.
Man, what the heck?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it came
wow.
out with the 25th anniversary.
Yep.
Oh, you're right.
What the heck?
I'll
Had-
take
had a
another
CD with it.
soundtrack while they're at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any more anniversaries I should know about?
Well, Pokemon and then I don't know if it's Kirby's anniversary, but something Kirby related is expected to come this year. But I can
Yeah.
talk about that later
Jeez.
if you want. Or I can talk about it now. It's whatever works.
Time marches on. Okay, well, I think, unless I'm wrong, I think everyone's already gotten their thoughts out about the 35th anniversary of Zelda. It's going to be really, really fun. I'm excited to see what 2021 holds. So I don't really have too many notes written down for this one on my next part of the list. So I'm just going to say it. I think this year might be the year we finally see the long-rumored Switch Pro.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I think so.
Hopefully.
It's possible. I kind of I stopped believing in the Switch Pro like a year ago maybe. And I'm still not 100% convinced that it's something that has been coming for as long as people think it has been. If it is. I'm speaking cryptically. My point being, I'm not 100% convinced that it's coming ever, let alone soon.
Yeah.
I'm more convinced. Like, I think it's something that Nintendo does need to release because we have the next generation with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. They need something that's a little bit more oomph to, like, kind of still keep those core gamers engaged.
With
Yeah.
everything like Mario, what is it, Mario 35? Is that the multiplayer?
Yeah.
With that ending in March, and then the 3D All-Stars going back into the vault, so to speak, at the end of March, makes me really think that there could be a Switch Pro, and maybe that's why they're retiring that maybe the Switch Pro would automatically come with 3D All-Stars or something.
Oh, that would be so.
That
That
would-
would be such a Nintendo thing.
That
to
would
do.
be the most Nintendo thing to do, is like, we're discontinuing it on the Switch because, hey, here's the new Switch Pro, and you automatically get the game.
I think you're onto something there.
That is
I
that
think,
is a true Nintendo thing to do.
I think the Switch Pro is real. I don't think it's gonna be called the Switch Pro. It's gonna be called like the Switch Up or
Yeah.
something. It's gonna,
New Switch.
Yeah,
The
oh,
Switcheroo.
No. Please.
Actually, I like Switcheroo.
Switcheroo. I
I want
love
to call it
it.
the Switcheroo.
I think it is real. It's one of those things where, and I shouldn't fall for this type of trap, but because so many outlets are talking about it, I gotta think that rumor has to stem from somewhere. And whether or not Nintendo was working on it and the rumor stemmed from there, or it's the opposite, there's so many rumors about it that Nintendo now feels, oh, now we have to make it. I think it's real. I think this is the year where we will see it. And I do believe some of the other rumors that go with it, where some people are saying a game like Metroid Prime 4 is optimized for something like this. That developers are being told to make their games a bit more graphically enhancing for something like the Switcheroo or Switch Up or whatever we're going to call it. I think it's real. I think we're going to see it. And I think if it is real and that we are going to see it, that it'll come out holiday this year. That's my
Well, you know, my
prediction.
uncle who works at
like
Nintendo, he's already played it.
Oh, yeah? What does he
Yeah,
like
he always
about
knows
it?
what's up.
He likes the fact it's called the Switcheroo.
Good.
Yeah,
All
but,
right.
you know, that's a secret, that it's going to be called the Switcheroo, and it's got Metroid Prime, and he's already played it twice.
You heard it here.
Yeah, true
the-
story.
The thing with the games ending in March, though, I don't know if that's going to be tied into the Switcheroo as much as it is just... I'm calling it Switcheroo like that's the official
Yeah,
name.
That's
but
totally that's the official name.
I think...
For this discussion is
That's fine. All right. I'll treat it seriously. What I think, though, is Nintendo's going to revamp their whole Nintendo Switch Online, Super Nintendo Switch Online systems just in general in March. It's going to... I don't think it's going to be exactly like Virtual Console, but it's going to be like a cross between what they have now and Virtual Console. And games such as Super Mario 35 might be just included with that. But whether or not that has to do with this new version of the Switch or not, I'm not sure. But I think you are onto something, that whatever Nintendo does at the end of March will be included or as part of this Switch Pro. Like, you don't have to pay Nintendo Switch Online to get some of these classic games or something like that.
So I think the reason that like Mario and like Fire Emblem, they're disappearing at in March is just because of the fiscal year. You know, it's just like, you know, that's how they decide to do that. I think the Switcheroo, I think that will probably introduce some online capabilities, but I think it'll be just slightly stronger Switch. And Nintendo's always working on hardware. Like with the 3DS and the DS, we had multiple versions of those consoles. And if you think of the Switch kind of like the 3DS and DS, it's very similar. So I think we'll see, like, you know, the 3DS XL version of Switch.
Yeah. For me, I think the writing's definitely on the wall. There have been rumors about this thing for, it feels like an eternity now, like years and years and years back. And I've always maintained this belief about rumors, whether it be about Nintendo or tech or just anything really, that a lot of the time what we end up hearing and seeing, at least for me, on like Twitter, most of that is just echoes down the hallway, you know? So things that have already been talked about years prior that we're just now finding out about, maybe not years, but, you know, at some point earlier on. And I think that there is definitely at least some sort of plan that is potentially already in motion to release a form of an upgraded Switcheroo. As far as what I'd like to see from it, though, I would honestly be fine with just 4K. That's it. All this time, I have 2 monitors on my desk. One of them is one that I use to play all my Switch games, and then the other one is for my PC monitor whenever I'm capturing footage and stuff. So that monitor that I use for my Switch is actually 4K. So to be able to get some use out of it would be really cool, and also to have that added ability of, you know, other consoles that do 4K have the option to, like, oh, do you want to do 1080p and higher frames, like higher FPS? Having that option would be really nice too, especially for some of the titles that I think would really benefit from it. Like, I'm pretty sure, I haven't thought about this in a while, but I don't think Breath of the Wild runs at 60, does it?
It runs at 30.
Yeah, so being able to see games like
900p,
that,
30 frames. Yeah.
Yeah,
Korok Forest, it runs at 10.
Yeah, so being able to see older Switch games like that run in a full steady 60 would be really, really cool. So I think just 4K 30 and 1080p 60 would be really nice benchmarks to aim for with the Switcheroo. And I really hope that it would be this year. I think Amanda makes a really good point that it would be really nice to see it released alongside something like Metroid Prime 4, which has the potential to utilize it to its maximum potential. Although, obviously, development on that game is a little bit up in the air at the moment. So my next title in line would probably be something like Breath of the Wild 2, which we haven't actually seen gameplay for yet. So who knows?
Yeah. I was running a couple dates and numbers to make sure I was kind of validated in this prediction, but with the like Switcheroo coming out, it's almost been about like 4 years or so since the original Switch release.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about like the 3DS, how we had like the regular 3DS, it looks like it dropped in like 2011, and then the new 3DS, which was the one that ended up having like a better graphical capability because they had to make games specifically to run on it.
Yeah.
And then also like just the hardware and everything got revamped. They got the little like control stick nub and the 3D the 3D slider got revamped and stuff like that. That one came out in like 4 years later in like 2015, I think. Yeah.
It was unveiled.
So-
It was unveiled in 2014 because it was unveiled alongside Xenoblade.
Oh, no,
Chronicles
released in
3D.
2015.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if Nintendo does something similar with the Switch, like they kind of did with the 3DS, since it was like one of their handhelds, I could see them pretty much being due for an upgrade and like a graphical overhaul and stuff like that, like a UI upgrade for the Switch this year. Also considering that we're kind of getting to the point where like some games are kind of starting to chug a little bit on the Switch that are releasing now, like Age of Calamity has a couple moments where it like dramatically dips in frame rate because there's so much happening.
Yeah.
Some people have reported like some lag and stuff with like Monster Hunter Rise, which is a pretty big title with a lot going on. So I'm thinking if we're gonna start being more ambitious with like the size of games and things that the Switch can do, I think like the hardware for sure is due for an upgrade at this point.
So,
Yeah.
as long as we're drawing parallels to the 3DS, right? Here's what I don't want them to do this time around. Number one, I really hope we don't see the naming convention of new make a return.
The new Switch, yeah.
I didn't mention this earlier, but I don't like the title for the new Pokemon Snap game. I'm so done with new. Like, like in like 4 years, is it gonna be the old new Pokemon? Like, there's so many things that I
Yeah,
don't
it's
like.
so
about
confusing.
that.
Pokemon
Yeah.
Snap too.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So I don't want to see that, and I also don't want to see games made specifically for the Switcheroo. You know, because not only do I feel that hurts the install base for those games, because not everyone's gonna have that ever, and it makes there's just so many things wrong with both of those things. I really would not like to see those traits carry over into the Switch era. I don't think that they will, but I would just like to say that ahead of time in case I can will it into the universe. I do not want to see those two things return for the Switcheroo. So
Yeah, it'll probably
Yeah,
be like a PS4 Pro situation where like the games just get better and they work better on the newer hardware, but you can still play it on the older hardware.
yeah,
Type of
I
thing.
think that's the ideal way.
I have something to add to what you were just saying, but I didn't realize that I muted my microphone.
Oh.
I was just gonna say that I think that Nintendo in the past 5 to 10 years has really wisened up from a marketing point of view. At least on the Nintendo of America side, maybe a little bit coming from Japan as well. And I'm hoping that they have learned from the mistakes of naming conventions in terms of the Wii U and the new 3DS at this point. The new 3DS didn't sell horribly, but there were certainly confused consumers across the board. And
So
I hope that they learned from that.
I was talking with someone who works with marketing and trying to figure out like why they did this whole new name convention, and they told me it's probably search engine optimization, because like when people go to search like new Switch or new Wii U, that's what pops up first.
Oh, that makes sense.
Really?
And so by naming it new, they keep it at the top of the inventory list and stuff like that.
I'm just imagining a bunch of
Kinda
just
makes
well-meaning
sense.
grandmas like going to try and find.
Yep.
So many grandpas.
I need the new 3D. Oh, yep, here we go. This is it.
Yep,
New
I know
3DS.
exactly
I
what
mean,
you're
even
talking
now, like I have, I don't know, probably 10 3DS systems, and sometimes when I'm looking on eBay or whatever, and I'm trying to find like a specific new 3DS or which Zelda 3DS do I want? I don't remember what year it came out, and you search for new 3DS could mean 10 different versions of what a 3DS is at this point.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you have a 3DS problem too. I
I
have like
3DS
8 or
problem.
9 of them. It's a I'd rather not talk about
It's
it.
bad.
Oh man.
And I'm actually thankful that, at least so far, Nintendo hasn't quite gone that way with the Switch, because, I mean, I already have 3 of those too. And,
It's
and
like
God
at most
forbid
they've
there's a
changed.
Zelda Switch, there's going to be another one.
I was gonna say they already have the different docks and different Joy-Con colors. I don't know if they're gonna do like a special Zelda themed Switch where the whole menu finally looks different and it has a Zelda skin on it.
Oh
but,
my god.
yeah, I don't know.
Dude, playing my 3DS, I've just been like, the Switch is such a boring looking system, man. I have my themes and I have my badges from the Badge Arcade on there. Oh, it's so nice.
Oh yeah. I
miss
would love a
Badge
new
Arcade.
I
nice
just ho-
interface.
I just hope they fix the Joy-Con drift,
Yes.
because I have so many
Yes,
Joy-Cons
sir.
with the drift.
So I've been wondering this, and I'm on your side too, but like if that problem were to be addressed, what would that look like? Would I send my already owned Joy-Cons in for repair, or would I like what would the execution
I don't
be?
think Nintendo will. I think Nintendo will continue to like offer like free repairs in selected regions, but I don't expect them to like do a full recall. I think like
just-
they'll just release a new product.
Just email me a voucher I can take to GameStop and just switch them out. Like, I don't want to have to wait 3 weeks to get my Joy-Con back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if it happened, they would just kind of swap the hardware in the new products
Yeah.
as they release them.
Let's see. If if we're gonna just do whoever goes, Bayonetta 3 getting a reveal.
Yeah.
Finally! Please, jeez.
Yeah, that's on my list too.
Like, I've been seeing it resurface because someone was like, oh yeah, they got listed on Amazon or Walmart somewhere. And I'm just like, huh? So, I really want to play Bayonetta 3, dude. It's been so long.
It's a little weird because, from my understanding, Bayonetta 2 was made ahead of schedule. Like, as soon as Nintendo funded the project, Platinum Games just went in. Like, they had the teaser trailer, and then the next year there was, like, a fully playable demo at E3.
Yeah, that turnover.
And then, like,
rate was
4
really
months
quick.
after that, it was out. And it's like, what the heck? So I have suspicion to believe that they announced Bayonetta 3, but they didn't really have enough people working on it. Like, I don't know if they devoted people to Astral Chain, and then they said, we'll work on this afterward or what. I don't think they want us to know that, but I think that's what happened. And now I think they're working on it. And I don't think it's too far-fetched to expect a teaser, at least. Or not, maybe not a teaser, because we've already got a teaser. I don't think it's too far-fetched to expect a trailer at this point. Whether or not it'll come out this year, I'm a little less certain about that, because the director, Kamiya, said, I hope we have something to announce this year. And that phrasing leads me to believe that it's not coming out this year.
Yeah,
But-
Kamiya's a notorious troll, so I wouldn't take that.
I hope he's trolling, but I feel like that might have been a genuine answer, and that maybe it'll come out like in March of next year. But it makes me nervous. I don't think we're gonna get it this year, I'm afraid.
God, I love that,
Well,
man.
that No More Heroes 3 is dropping before Bayonetta 3. That's insane.
That actually is pretty crazy. I'm excited for No More Heroes 3.
You know, I'm kind of like two sides of the fence here, because on the one hand, I would really love to get my hands on Bayonetta 3 as soon as possible. But on the other, I still need to beat the other two.
They're hard.
God. This discussion is just me
You've been
admitting
just
all the things
building
I
the
haven't
queue.
played.
Yeah, I haven't played any of the
It's an
Bayonetta
intervention.
games.
Like, I've played like maybe 2 or 3 hours of the first one, and I really loved it. But like, other stuff comes up.
I'm telling you, dude, just play through Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2. It's I never got into the Devil May Cry franchise, but Bayonetta is just great.
Oh, I love
love
DMC.
it.
Like, everything about Bayonetta, I know I love. And I've played it, I love it. I just, for some reason or another, I always just put it down, and then I don't come back for like 2 years. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, Bayonetta is such an iconic female like protagonist character. Like, there's a reason she got in Smash, and that was so great. Yeah, she's an amazing character.
Well, I have another game that I could potentially bring up based on information we know.
Uh-huh.
How do you guys feel about Kirby?
I love
like
Kirby.
We like
He's
Kirby.
cute.
Star Allies
Kirby's
got
cute.
so
Everybody
much
likes
stuff.
Kirby.
Yeah, so HAL Laboratory or someone at the company said that we should expect big things from Kirby this year. And we're seeing a lot of merchandise already, and that's good. But I think we're due for the next Kirby platforming game. Because Star Allies came out in 2018. And then in 2019 we had Super Kirby Clash. And then in 2020 we had Kirby Fighters 2. So I think now we're going to get another Kirby platformer. And I actually think it's going to have online multiplayer in the same vein as Super Mario 3D World. Because
I'd believe it.
I see HAL Laboratories liking the online system, and I think Nintendo might make a push for more online games going forward to get more people to pay for Nintendo Switch Online, and I think Kirby Fighters 2 succeeded in that department. So I foresee them making another Kirby game on the Switch with 4-player multiplayer online. But that's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys actually think.
So you're
I've been in the mindset that the next Kirby game is gonna probably be 3D, like 3D playing, like the maps have been in his games recently.
Yeah, that's what some rumors have said.
Because it's like Star Allies was pretty much like just a celebration of every 2D Kirby game that's ever been released ever. So they could just start fresh with like a new like play style of Kirby with this next game probably. So that'd be kind of cool if they did that.
So what you're saying is I should be expecting giant Godzilla-sized Kirby battles in this next one, right?
Nintendo's been on a kaiju thing lately, so probably,
Sup-
honestly.
super-
Because nothing would make me more happy.
Gigantamax Kirby.
Get to
It's kaiju Kirby. He has a little Godzilla hat on.
I mean, that's
Oh,
probably
he'd
next.
be so cute. Oh my
They
god.
already gave him a robot suit. They gave him super inhaling abilities. And then in Return to Dreamland, they just gave him, like, supercharged all the other abilities. So I guess all that's next is to change his size and make him
Yeah.
a super Giga Kirby or something.
You know, I was going to say, you know what? I like Star Allies. I'm not going to comment on whether or not I finished it.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
let you
dude,
do
that
the
game
math
is
on
huge.
that one.
Yeah.
I haven't played it at all, so I feel like I haven't
No,
played.
me
Like,
either.
I'm so sad that I haven't played all this.
I know. Me too.
I feel like a fake gamer going, I haven't played that. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're on the same wavelength right now. I guess I'll go ahead and move on to my next little bullet point here on my list. This one, I kind of debated on adding into my, super wild, you're crazy, you expected, dream reveal list. But I honestly think that this is still relatively possible. Whether or not this is going to be a this year thing, I don't know. But I think, or I would like to see in 2021, N64 titles make their way over to the Switch.
Yes.
Whether that be through the online service or the proper eShop or even something like an N64 Mini. I think N64 games might be getting a little bit more of a spotlight this year, especially if we get the titles that I mentioned earlier for the Zelda collection. That will have marked two big occasions in which Nintendo has successfully ported over 64 titles to run on the Switch. Obviously the first one being 64, and then, this one this year would be Ocarina of Time, or Majora's Mask, I guess, depending on who you ask. Let me see. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I think with the Mario 64, they showed that they could translate N64 titles on the fly using Lua, which is like really impressive. But it's also something that they would need to do for a Nintendo Switch Online app, because you have to be able to make the game available in lots of different languages, and theoretically you would want everyone to play the same version instead of porting over the PAL version and the US version and the Japanese version separately.
That's
So
true.
I think like code interjection is really important, and I think that's a good sign that we could see N64 titles on Nintendo Switch Online app.
This is why I like having you on these discussions. That makes way more sense. So to kind of add on to your point of adding them to the online service, not only would it just make me really, really happy and merely nostalgic, but I think it would also add on to the value of Nintendo Switch Online, number one. And it would also bring with it the possibility of adding maybe some online multiplayer to some of those games. Nintendo's already done with
Donkey
NES
Kong.
and SNES.
Oh my god.
Mario Party.
Honestly,
Online,
I would go
yeah.
bonkers if I was able to play online games like Mario Party 2, GoldenEye, Mario Kart
Donkey Kong
64,
online was
Super
really
Smash
fun.
Brothers, the original Mario Tennis. Oh my god.
Oh,
So-
Mario Tennis was
Dude,
great.
there's so many possibilities. There's just too many.
One thing I have to pause about is that with 64, they would have to choose what version to support
That's what I was gonna
that way.
say, yeah.
And like with Smash 64, you have 3 different versions of that game. Well, 4 if you count the Chinese localization. And they're all slightly different. And if you choose one version or the other, you're gonna upset some people in that region.
Yeah, and Dustin also brings up an interesting point. If you ever look at the Virtual Console games list for Wii and Wii U, you'll see specifically with the Nintendo 64 games that not every Nintendo 64 game that was put on Wii was put on Wii U. Like, did you know Smash 64 isn't on the Wii U Virtual Console? It's just weird. And I imagine that boils down to not only choosing a version, but also just, sadly, some Nintendo 64 games not running properly. I know that sadly not all Nintendo 64 games were made equal. If you choose to make your emulation one way, you might optimize it for games like Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time, but the games like Mario Tennis and Mario Party might not work as well. And it's the sad fact of the matter is that's probably exactly why they haven't made an N64 Mini. And I know that there's...
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And I know that there's a demand for it, but it's just the demand versus the easily readiness of the supply is not probably in Nintendo's favor right now. Like, they probably have other things they want to work on. They probably could sell 1 million units of this thing, but it's probably not going to catch on as easily as the NES Mini or the SNES Mini, and it's probably not going to be as easy to make. I would love Nintendo 64 games on Nintendo Switch Online, but I think besides the big 3 Nintendo 64 games being Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64, it's probably not going to function that well, and that's probably why they haven't done it yet, if at all. So that's just my speculation, but I do want it, and I would prefer it as a Nintendo Switch Online thing rather than a Nintendo 64 Mini, but I will pay for either.
Yeah, exactly. However they decide to serve me that plate, I will gladly take the check.
So if Nintendo was to start rolling out N64 online games to the Switch, how often do you think they trickle them out? And if they were to drop like 3 from the jump, which ones do you think they put on there?
So, to answer your first question, how often they would trickle them out, I think it would be as often as I wake up on Twitter and I surprisingly see, like, 4 new SNES games being launched, like, out of nowhere.
Like 2 every other month. Yeah.
So probably around that same level of frequency. But if I was to pick 3, probably the ones that I listed, like Mario Party 2, GoldenEye, Mario Kart 64. I think those would be a pretty good couple of them to start off with. Maybe if I had to really dig deep into my catalog, Pokemon Puzzle League. I think would be really
love
cool.
that game
Oh,
so
that's a pull.
much.
That was like
I was gonna
the
say
only...
Pokemon Stadium. But
Yeah.
that's
I
the
was
right
thinking
thing.
Stadium, but Puzzle League, absolutely.
That
I mean,
fun
Stadium would
fact
be fun
was...
if not for the mini games online.
Yeah, the
But-
minigame.
Oh wait! What? Oh, this is a fun little brainstorming session we're having right now. Wow! Magikarp Jump, just like
Yeah.
online. Oh,
Clefairy says it
That
everyone
sounds-
gets synchronized.
that's evil. Oh man, Pokemon Puzzle League would be awesome. Yeah, Stadium would be really, really cool. There's just so many. What would you put, David? I don't even.
I for sure probably want Mario Party 2, and then probably Yoshi's Story
Oh,
and Kirby 64.
am I the only one
Yes,
that got like
Kirby.
really sad
All
when
the
in
Kirby.
Yoshi's Story, whenever the Yoshis would die?
Oh, dude, it was so dark.
It
They
still
just
makes
haul
me
them away
so
to that dark
uncomfortable.
tower, and I was like, oh my god. I think when I was a kid, at one point I was playing Yoshi's Story, and it's like if I ever like died with one of the Yoshis, I just start the game over. I just wanted to try to do like I was doing like straight up permadeath. Like I don't want none of the Yoshis to die.
God, that
Yoshi's
was so
Story, that's why.
traumatizing. God, I know my some of my family would be really excited about Mario Kart 64. Like the prospect of that would be really cool. That is one of the only games my family would ever play with me. Fun fact, I'm the only gamer in my family. They would always come to play Mario Kart 64 with me, like in the holidays and stuff. So that game holds a special place in my heart, and it'd be really cool to play it again.
Yeah, Mario Kart
yeah.
64 is one game that we would always play like at sleepovers that like even all the girls that didn't play video games, which was most of them because none of my friends did. But like we all had Mario Kart anyways. So that was like one that we could all agree and play on and have a lot of fun together.
Yeah, and 64
if I
just
had
has
it
such
my
a
way-
great library.
If I had it my way, the 3 games I'd put on there, Bomberman 64, the second attack, always. 1080 snowboarding. And then just
Ooh.
to throw a curveball, I do like Mario Party 3, but not the first 2. Just like there. Play that
See,
one.
I'm okay
I
with
love
3
3, but-
also. I like 2
That
and
board
3.
game.
The
at
second one's
least
my
we can
favorite.
board
I
game
like
mode.
I like Mario Party 2 the best.
See,
Yeah.
I never owned any of the N64 ones. I hear everyone say 2's the best, but I'd be down to play any of them. I just don't think they're going to put the first one on there because of the controversy about rotating the analog stick, but that's just my opinion.
I think the second one had that too, actually.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Or was it? I
It
think it was
wasn't
the
as
worst
bad as-
in one.
It was really bad in the first one, and the second one they changed it enough to where like the rotating the control stick wouldn't give you nasty blisters on your hand and scrape all the skin off.
Yeah.
The 2-player like sidekick battle mode they had in 3 was really cool. You could be like Mario with a Thwomp versus like Wario with a Boo. And it was like a Pokemon board game battle thing going on. It was really cool.
Yeah, and like to see something like that, because I know there's like, I know there's not really too much to invest into these, but I know there's talk about like eventually there's going to be a new Mario Party game for the Switch, right? And I think that'd be a cool
Please.
little tie-in as well. Be like, hey, there's a classic one that you could play alongside it too, maybe. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking too grandiose. Maybe my head's in the cloud. My head's in the clouds. I don't know.
I'd also like Mario
Can
Party
I throw
64.
an unrelated prediction?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
So March is going to mark 1 year of Animal Crossing being out, and I think we still haven't seen some credible rumors, including like Brewster and
That is true, yeah.
some other things, and I just think that that's probably timing-wise going to coincide with the 1 year anniversary in March.
Dude, if Brewster drops, I'm running.
I hope we get Brewster for like
all I've ever
Valentine's
wanted.
Day.
Oh, that would be so cute.
We
Little
do know
coffee
that the
dates,
game's going
like,
to keep getting updated because they're going to do the Mario 35th anniversary stuff in March.
Yeah.
I don't know about Brewster, but I do think we're due for something like Tortimer's Island or something with that little dock on the side of every island. They got to do something with
that'd be
that,
really
not
cute.
just have 1 or 2 fish spawn by. We need like
Yeah, I'd love more.
We talked
multiplayer
about
things
this
to do
like
with people.
a few days ago, actually. The Tortimer's Island
Yeah.
thing.
yeah,
Oh,
we
I
need
would
something like
love to
that.
see that.
The only issue I have with adding Brewster's shop is that a year into the game, I imagine everyone already has their island layout, so that it's not gonna be all that easy to include another.
Wouldn't it
shop.
just be in the
they're gonna
basement
shove
of
them
the?
in
I will move all
Yeah,
my
this would be
villagers.
easier.
Stick them in the corner.
Well, excuse me, I don't regularly play Animal Crossing, so I didn't know that. But that makes a lot more
It'd be
sense.
cool if
Okay, Mr.
be cool if they added another
365
floor.
Animal Crossing journals.
Yeah, after playing the game for 280 days, you think I'd learned something about the series, but no, I'm still figuring it out. I didn't play New Leaf, so there you go.
Oh man, I hope Reggie makes
It'd be
another
cool if they
island
added
with all the Mario stuff being added.
Oh yeah, that'd be really clean.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say
that
with
so fun.
Animal Crossing, it'd be cool if they also added the planetarium back, because I don't know if there's anything with constellations right now.
Oh, that's
Well,
right.
Well,
there's
there's just the
Celeste is
DIYs.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, she's walking around, but it's like we don't get to collect stars in the sky to make constellations when we look up, I guess.
That wasn't
would
a
be
New
nice.
Leaf, was
However
it?
that worked. Was it?
I think it
I'm
was.
not sure.
I want to say it was New Leaf that had it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it was.
Am I tripping? Really?
I wouldn't know. I haven't played it.
I remember it was in a Wild World, but I never really did it in New Leaf.
Huh. I might be having a
Well,
Yoshida
now I'm
moment. I played
questioning
so
it,
much of
but-
New Leaf, and if to think that I might have missed that. What?
But then it'd also be cool if they added just like more shops, like kind of how they had like the town and stuff. Was there a town in New Leaf?
There
I
was
don't
the little
remember.
town kind of like area that you like crossed over the railroad
Yeah.
tracks.
It'd be cool if they added some type of extra thing like that for more exclusive places, or also if we got like an expansion to the Nook store, because it could become
Oh,
like
right,
a
right.
7-Eleven or like a fancy store in the other games. So I'm like, I want to see my Nook shop updated again.
Yeah. I thought we were gonna get that in an update 6 months ago, to be honest. So I'm all for that.
I think this new year is going to be the year they kick it into high gear, maybe. Like, this
Yeah.
was them laying the foundation for certain times of the year. Like, this is what we're going to expect around this time of year. This is like, the Halloween event is going to be around this time and blah, blah, blah. Laying down the groundwork. And then this year, I think, is when they're going to start adding actual new stuff.
And I'm sure they'll
you
do
got too much
something
at
like for the
once.
1 year anniversary, some kind of like celebration.
Yeah,
Oh,
they might.
yeah. For sure.
The other Nintendo items.
Please. They're missing Zelda,
Yeah.
Star Fox.
I'll take Zelda stuff,
Yeah.
please.
Let's see. In terms of Smash Brothers for this year, because we still have what, like 3 slots
right.
left on that Fighter
Oh,
Pass.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, 3 more.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
which is
God. I didn't
insane
even put
because we
that
already
on
have
here,
such
actually.
big
You're right.
pulls already.
Yeah.
I was saying that pretty much a safe prediction right now is Monster Hunter getting dropped in March along with Monster Hunter Rise in some capacity, because they hasn't been debunked by a skin yet, I think.
Yeah, so I
and we still
understand
have-
the logic. I
Yeah, we
get
still
it.
have the monster in there. So I'm like, that's one character a whole bunch of people are saying would be really dope, because I mean, like, it's one of the top selling franchises in Japan.
Yeah.
And they already got the monster in there, so it'd be cool if we did get some type of representation in that way. But other than that, I still, at this point, I don't know who the heck they're gonna add into Smash. Like, we could say whatever we want to, that they're all possibilities at this point. Crash, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah,
Crash
so
is
Push,
one of
I
those
think this
that's
is your
just
topic.
always there.
I think this is Push's specialty.
Yeah, it's something that I'm very passionate about. Yeah, with every character reveal, I'm just like, okay, I don't know what's gonna happen next, because like no one was expecting Sephiroth, and no one was
And
expecting
Steve.
Steve.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like any kind of, and even Min Min, like no one was expecting a
An
new
Sky's the
character
arms
limit at this
character.
point.
Yeah.
So it is just like it's completely unpredictable. But if I had to predict, I don't know about Monster Hunter. Like I'm like 50-50. Like I understand the logic behind that. I think it's possible. Because the only reason I'm not so convinced that Monster Hunter is coming is just because we had that Capcom leak, and there wasn't really, as far as we know, what's been included in that data, there hasn't been any Smash related stuff. So maybe Capcom's not getting a character. So if I had to pick, I would say like maybe like Rayman, Ryu Hayabusa. Probably another Nintendo character, especially one that could like tie into like Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2. I think would be really interesting.
One of the Guardians would be so great. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm. Or even like the new Zelda would be possible. There's just so many choices that it's really hard to see like which way it's gonna go.
See, my input on this, if I may. I thought I had Sakurai figured out, and I was like, all right, we're gonna get Travis touchdown.
Yeah.
I think Gino stands a chance.
Yeah.
And I was wrong on those. And the thing is, he's already got all the hotshot characters. And when the first pack of DLC came out, some people were saying characters like Crash, and I was like, no, because if this was in development while Smash Ultimate was in development, Crash's popularity resurging is a little too late for that. Now that we're in DLC Pack 2. It's a little different. Like DLC Pack 1, I don't think Monster Hunter stood a chance because those are the 5 characters that I guess Sakurai felt people would want to see added as like bonus unlockable type characters. Like I'll pay extra money to have that character in the game. And I didn't think Monster Hunter was going to happen because Monster Hunter was already represented in Smash, and if you wanted Monster Hunter in Smash, you would have done it already. That was my logic. But now that we're on DLC Pack 2, looking at the characters so far, I mean, yeah, Smash doesn't need Min Min, Steve, or Sephiroth. These are like bonus characters beyond the bonus characters that really don't need to be in Smash Brothers. It's just cool. And so based on that logic, I think I've got Sakurai figured out, and it's gonna sound like a joke, but I think I'm one step ahead of him this time. We're gonna get a Namco rep, and it's not gonna be Lloyd Irving, it's not gonna be any Tekken character. It's gonna be something in the same vein as Mr. Driller. And I am so ready for it because that way they can count the Pac-Man music section of Smash as just the general Namco section, just like they did with Terry. And when they add someone like Mr. Driller, all the songs that play on the Pac-Man stage can play on the Mr. Driller stage. That's my prediction. That's all I got. I don't know who the other 2 characters could be.
Very specific.
It is very specific.
It's very
It's
specific
all
and
I
very
can
well
think of.
thought out, so it makes
I feel like
sense.
you've thought about this.
Yeah.
Thank you. But that's all I got. I thought Gino stood a chance, and I don't know. Maybe Sakurai will psych us out again, and Gino will be there. But I don't know. I don't know who the other 2 characters could possibly be, and I'm not even 100% certain about Mr. Driller. I just feel more certain about him than I did about Travis' touchdown earlier. So that's where we're at. But if Mr. Driller gets picked, you heard it here. I freaking called Sakurai out on his nonsense, and I deserve to have some sort of fame for that.
Smash trophy.
Yeah.
If Mr. Driller gets in, I will definitely give you all the props.
Thank you.
Because I would like Mr. Driller, but I don't see it happening.
I mean, probably
personally.
not. It's just I'm just trying to view all sides of the spectrum here. So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
I know it sounds.
I would love a
ridiculous,
Space Invader character, actually.
but I'd be okay
if
with
I
a
had to
Space
go, like-
Invader
That'd be fun.
map. I don't know about a
Yeah,
character.
a stage. That'd be really cool.
So, with like Crash coming back and like Spyro making a resurgence and everything, hear me out. I know it's silly. It's just a matter of time before we see the return of Echo the Dolphin. So
There you go.
I'm just saying, I've been calling it because no joke, at E3 when we saw Crash when Crash first came back, I was like, it'd be funny if Spyro came back next. The next year, it was Spyro, and I'm like, you know what? It's just a matter of time before Echo's gonna be next. So
The only difference is that Echo's owned by Sega.
yeah,
However,
but Sega has been
it's exactly what I was gonna say. Of all companies, Sega is the one to be like, yeah,
they
let's
would
bring
be
this
the
back.
easiest one to get on there.
Yeah. So you're probably onto something there.
Echo's air juggle game would be on point though. Just gonna say, the dolphin. Yeah.
We can
I'll
make
just
our
throw
own
that-
Aliens make a
Smash.
cameo appearance.
I like this.
It's a definite no, but I like to say it all the time just in case because, I think Banjo-Kazooie was pretty close to a no for the longest time. But I still want to see Sora in Smash.
I still
No
think
matter
there's a
how
chance.
unlikely it is,
Freaking
there's
awesome.
like
I-
a teeny,
yeah.
teeny chance there.
There's a chance somewhere.
Yeah.
I still say so.
Yeah, I mean,
I
since
don't think
Kingdom
that
Hearts
Sora
games
is
have been on
impossible.
Nintendo consoles before, it would be doable.
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible. The only reason I'm kind of vetoing Sora is because we already have a Square rep in this DLC pack. And not that there can't be two Square reps, I just think that if they were to pick a Square rep between Sephiroth and Sora, I think they made their choice. And that for unless they do a DLC pack 3,
possible.
then Sora would
But-
probably be there. But
Oh
that's
my
my
goodness.
Sora's
only,
owned by
that's my only
Disney.
thing that's shutting it down.
Sora's owned by Disney, not Square.
Even so, I think that if they were going to do something like that, they would have picked one or the other. I don't think Sora's impossible. I just don't think it's going to happen in this pack.
I'll march right up to Mr. Mouse and tell him, hey, listen, I want to play Sora in my
Bud.
cartoon fighting game. Let me have him, please.
What were you gonna say,
I mean,
Dustin?
I am going to be at the parks in like a couple of weeks. I'll totally go see. Well, crap, we're not
Please,
doing meeting
yes.
with Mickey. I was like going to say I'll go see Mickey and be like, Mickey, you need to get
Just
your
hold up
man
a sign to
Snow.
him.
You need to get Sora into Smash.
Maybe slide him a 5 across the table. Make it worth your while. So for me, for Smash, like my dream was already answered in Banjo-Kazooie. Like I've watched that trailer I don't know how many times. So I don't really think it could get much better than that for me. And at this point, I'm just kind of thinking of the characters that I have in the back of my mind that I think would be really cool to see in the game. And one that's always kind of just stuck in my head, and I made a video about this maybe like 5 or 6 years ago at this point, for Smash 4's Smash Ballot. And that character is Cooking Mama. I think it would be a really out of left field pick, kind of similar to Wii Fit Trainer. And I would just love to see her victory screen in, like,
Yeah.
I could just hear the mission complete voice that she has in the games as the victory screen. It would just be so perfect. I think that'd be really fun. Also, other characters like Master Chief and Sora would be really cool too. But I don't know. I feel like Cooking Mama would make me laugh and it'd be funny, and I think that would just be the perfect wacky pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not objective.
Yeah, I really love those the wacky characters like Pac-Man. I really like Pac-Man just because like it's not just like how you expected him to play. They have a lot of different elements incorporated to them, and I think Cooking Mama could have the same kind of feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would be so
Oh.
much fun because I like the out there ones.
Yeah, I don't even remember when the last time we had, like an out of, I don't even know what you would call it, but like a wild
Yeah,
character, like a wild card, you know?
Maybe the Piranha Plant.
It's
Unless you want to count Steve. But, I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say Steve, and yeah, Piranha Plant fits that mold.
I think Piranha
well,
Plant,
like that.
yeah. You know what? Never mind. Yeah, Piranha Plant's a good one too.
I also just think a Pokemon rep would be a safe bet too, because there's a lot of really cool Pokemon out there right now. That'd be good for Smash.
Yep.
And I can see one of the
think people
characters
would
from Tales
riot.
of. One of the Tales characters.
I'd love to see a Tails character.
See, the thing
Would that
is,
be a
though,
Sora character?
There's probably only going to be one Namco rep in this DLC pack. And I think if they had to choose between a Tails of rep and Mr. Driller, I'm leaning toward Mr. Driller. But we'll see. We'll see. I think the Tails of character is probable. I'm trying to outpredict it with this Mr. Driller.
I love that you've been the most passionate about Mr. Driller out of all the things we've discussed
I
today.
just want Mr. Driller so I can be right when no one else is. That's all I really want. It's just selfish satisfaction.
I'm honored
I think
to have this be the
one,
place
like,
that you announce that.
one out there pick that like it doesn't get a lot of attention is probably the Trails series, which is like a huge role playing series by
like Trials of
Nihon
Mana?
yeah, it's like the Legend of Heroes.
Oh yeah.
Trails it's like sometimes like Wise, I think.
Oh yeah.
Like all of those games are on the Switch, and so like having a character from that series I think would be unexpected and help push people in the West to know about that series as well.
Yeah, I kind of got that same feel from when Hero was first revealed. I've never played
Yeah.
a Dragon Quest game, but I know a lot more about them now for sure. All right, well, I've at this point I've long exhausted my list of predictions. Does anybody else have any before we move on to the final section?
I have one last thing. Unless
all right.
unless someone else has to say something.
if it's Mr. Driller.
It's not. It's not.
I have
Okay.
one other little one, but you go first.
Okay. We are going to get something Pokemon related. However, although we are probably due to get Gen 4 remakes at some point, I mean, I know there were rumors going around, but I would have thought that Nintendo would want to save Gen 4 remakes for a different time. I thought they'd want to make Gen 9 first before they did Gen 4 remakes, just because Generation 8 was so controversial. I think...
Oh, yeah.
Although we did get DLC for Sword and Shield, I actually think it's more likely that we'll get Sword 2 and Shield 2 than Gen 4 remakes. And
think so?
There's two reasons for that. Number one is, in terms of the lore of the Pokemon world, Dynamaxing is the big thing for Pokemon Sword and Shield. But according to the games, that's a feature you can only do in the Galar region, where Sword and Shield take place. And they could retcon that, like they kind of retconned Mega Evolution into the Gen 3 remakes. But I feel like that's a little easier because that has to do with putting a stone on top of your Pokemon versus Dynamaxing being based on where you actually are. And the second thing is, if they did Gen 4 remakes now, they'd have to bring back all the Pokemon and pretty much all the moves. And I bring that up because certain Pokemon like Unknown were cut from Sword and Shield. And if they bring back Unknown, well, then they have to bring back the move Hidden Power, because Hidden Power is the only move that Unknown can learn. And a lot of the Pokemon that were absent from the Generation 8 games, even after DLC, were a lot of Pokemon from Generation 2 and a lot of Pokemon from Generation 4. And in the original Gen 4 games, a lot of the Pokemon are from Gen 2 and Gen 4, because a lot of Gen 2 Pokemon evolve into Gen 4 Pokemon. So whether or not that's coincidental or not, I'm not sure. But I'd have thought that they'd want to make a game that have all the Pokemon return first, and then do Gen 4 remakes. But that's just my 2 cents.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Wow. That's really well thought out.
That doesn't say that they can't or that they won't, but that's just my thought.
Okay. I never would have picked up on that.
My next
actually.
prediction was also Pokemon related, so
perfect.
convenient. And this is not coming from like rumors. There's nothing really circulating about this, but Pokemon TCG has been getting a pretty big resurgence, and I think there's really good cause to put Pokemon TCG Online on the Switch.
Oh, man.
Not necessarily the same exact game, but the framework is built out. There's so much value to being able to take the Pokemon TCG Online codes now and use them somewhere other than on PC or on a tablet, because it's not available on phone either. I could see it working really, really well on the Switch.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see
Yeah,
that
I've been
for
thinking that
years.
too.
I'm surprised that they don't have that on mobile by now, because there are so many other card games out there that are.
Yeah, I don't know if they think it won't translate like size-wise with the screens, but I mean, I also predicted Pokemon TCG would get a game on the 3DS for a while, and that never happened. So
I think you're onto something, because the Pokemon Company said they wanted to do a big celebration this year, and
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting new Pokemon Snap, but that's in April. So it's like, okay, well, what do you got planned for the rest of the year besides just more merchandise that you do every year anyway? And I think you might be right, because I was trying to think of other smaller games that the Pokemon Company could release this year, kind of like when Nintendo did the Year of Luigi. There were some big games like Luigi's Mansion and Mario and Luigi, but then they also did like Dr. Luigi. So I think you're right, though. I think a trading card game on Switch, whether it's free to play or you pay for it, is actually the way to go. And I didn't even think about that until this conversation, and it just actually makes too much sense for me now. I think if they treat it like a Yu-Gi-Oh type game where it has a story mode, but the main selling point is the multiplayer, I think that's the way to do it.
I would love that.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I wasn't even thinking that far, but that would be wonderful. And I mean, I collect Pokemon TCGs, so I'm always kind of watching the new releases and stuff. And if you haven't been following it for the past year, but especially the past 6 months, they have been flying off the shelves. Impossible to get some of the new sets. So I think that they're probably already looking to how they can ramp up production just to meet that need right now.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very good prediction. I don't know why the trading card game never crossed my mind, but I think that's actually quite brilliant.
I think that's solid
Thank
and would
you.
do a lot to help my comprehension of how the battle system in the TCG works, because I never bothered to learn it.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I've heard
they
it's
have a lot of
really easy.
they have a lot of packs that are out now, like specifically made to teach people how to play. Since people are like buying up the cards to just crack the packs and not play, it's a really fun game.
Yeah, all these years I've been collecting them, but it's just been for the sake of collecting them, so it'd be nice to be able to have some sort of useful and like easy to pick up outlet to just
It'd be cool if I could
learn
use
it.
these trading cards for a game or something.
Wait, okay, so I think I'm putting it together. So Sam is saying Pokemon TCG, and Yoshiller was speculating that some sort of tie-in with the Pokemon 25th.
Yeah.
I think this is all going to add up to a super rare holographic Katy Perry card.
Now you're talking.
And with
You know what? Actually, yeah. You know those celebrity trainer renders that one person did?
oh yeah,
Yeah. It basically
Oh,
just
yeah, I
be like
remember
they
those.
designed her card. That'd be really dope.
But they only print one of them and they give it to Katy Perry.
Oh, dude.
The rarest card.
all right. Well, with my dumb joke,
I have
I guess we can move
one
on.
last prediction
Oh yeah, go ahead.
that's like really out there. The Famicom Tante, it was announced for the Switch. I think that will eventually get localization.
Oh.
It has not been announced. I think that's a possibility
That's another thing I didn't even think about.
because like it hasn't resurfaced in Japan at all. They haven't talked about it since it was announced, and I expect that COVID has caused it to be delayed, and maybe with the delay they figured they would also localize it.
Man, I don't know much about this, so I'm the wrong person to ask.
I only know about it because I've written about it for Go Nintendo. You bring up a good point. COVID probably did delay it. I don't really have much more to add because you pretty much said everything I possibly could have said. But that's not
Yeah.
a bad prediction, actually.
I would say it's download only as well because I don't think they would have enough confidence to do a physical release for
Yeah,
it
you're probably right.
because it's so unknown in the West.
And I think I'm a testament to that. All right, and then I guess we can go ahead and move on to the last little section here. And I guess since we're already talking about Pokemon, I'll go ahead and go first on this one. So, for our section here of dream reveals, that being things that you would like to see that, you know, if you were to remove all of the legal, all this other nonsense that goes into announcing things and making things come to fruition, what would you like to see as like the best announcement that could happen through the year? And personally, for me, that would be, and this might also be a little bit of a controversial opinion, but I would like to see a remake of Johto region in Pokemon in the style of Pokemon Let's Go. I really loved Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and I don't know what the poster children would be for the Johto region, but if they were to keep that naming convention, I would just really like to see Pokemon Let's Go Johto. The things that I really liked about the original ones were just how it felt like you were basically just playing through the Indigo League and the actual anime. Like all the characters from the show and stuff pretty much made an appearance, and you know, say what you will about the actual depth of the game, but I feel like the visual representation of those games I vastly prefer to like the almost realistic style of Sword and Shield. So if there was a way to like maybe marry the graphical style of Let's Go and the competitive depth of the main series games, I think that would be like that would probably be the perfect Pokemon game for me. I think that would be really, really sweet. And a couple of other things I liked about the Let's Go games were just the overwhelming amount of personality that there was in pretty much every single nook and cranny. I mean, one of the main features that people want to see added to Sword and Shield, or just maybe more Pokemon games down the line, is having your partner walk next to you. And that was something that was ever present in Let's Go. And no matter which Pokemon you pick, they would walk along next to you. And they would all have just really weird individual animations to them. Like I know for a fact that from memory, I can remember if you had Snorlax walk along next to you, you'd actually climb on his belly, and he would walk on Snorlax's belly. I thought that was freaking awesome. And there were a couple other really charming ones too. I remember like for Charizard, you would climb on its back and you would fly. I thought that was really cool. And just all of the really funny characters throughout the way. Team Rocket makes an appearance, and that whole game is just so how do I put this? Charismatic? Charming. Yeah, that's another good word.
I think people will look back on those games fondly 10 years from now. I don't think people are going to hate them.
I really hope so. I mean, obviously, it did have its weaknesses. I did not like the catching mechanics. I still don't. And I don't really think it had as much depth as some of the mainline series games. But, as I said, if there was a way to maybe marry those two, I think that would create for a really, really awesome experience for both hardcore and casual fans. So, yeah, let's go Johto.
Let's go Pichu and let's go Togepi.
Or Meryl or something.
See, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like Meryl, Togepi, Pichu. So, yeah, I think we're on the right track there. Although Pichu's probably like a solid pick if there was even a hope for that.
It's just, wouldn't you think that'd be a prequel rather than a sequel? I don't know. What do I know?
I don't even know either. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and popcorn this part. What about you, Amanda? Do you have one queued up for this? Oh?
Are you muted, Amanda? Okay, goodbye, Amanda.
Riff? Question mark?
Oh, I heard a click.
Crap, sorry. Like I had the mic muted because I was like moving around and
No, you're good.
yeah. So here I am talking and I'm like, wow, okay, you guys, okay, because I heard you say bye, Amanda. You said bye, Amanda, as soon as I said something somewhat controversial.
Oh. No, I don't care. I'm not gonna judge like that.
No, it
Go
was
ahead.
just funny.
Hit us with it.
Okay, so if we're going full on pipe dream, then I would want an Earthbound collection with Mother 3 because
That's not controversial. I'd love that too.
Okay, cool. Well, you know how like some people are like, oh god, I can't believe you're mentioning Mother 3. You know that's never gonna happen. Well, the whole point of this conversation is things that may not ever happen. But for things that are slightly more likely to happen, I want a new Star Fox because I was not happy with Star Fox Zero.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really want a new Star Fox. Star Fox Assault was not my favorite, even though it had some elements that I really liked, and I'm glad it brought back like Crystal, and I loved the parts with Star Wolf. But I didn't like how in Star Fox Zero, like not only were the controls a pain, like it was way too hard to just like the controls were hard to deal with as it was, and then like how it erased so many of the things that had developed after 64, how it just kind of redid everything. Like, I liked Crystal. I liked everything that happened in Star Fox Adventures. Star Fox Adventures was just fun. Yeah, it was a Zelda clone, and it had some just total trash moments, but in the voice acting, every time I watch it, I'm like, how am I not getting work? Yet this exists. But just, I want another Star Fox because I miss all the characters. They were so much fun. And so that's what I would just like as a new Star Fox.
Yeah, I think, I remember because we talked about Star Fox actually, I'm pretty sure not too long ago in relation to the E3 demo experience. And ever since then, I've kind of just thought about almost the amount of potential that Star Fox has as a series.
Yeah,
And
just sitting in that cockpit was just the coolest thing.
That was so cool.
I feel so bad for Star Fox because Nintendo had a huge marketing push for Star Fox Zero. They made those Muppets. They had the animated preview that they did by the guys who made Attack on Titan, and they had a big blowout at E3.
In a game.
Yeah, and it just didn't sell well. And then they did Starlink, and then that didn't sell well. And it's just I don't know what to tell them. I feel so bad for that franchise. I don't know.
I think maybe a sequel to Star Fox Adventures would be fun. But, I mean, that would have to be...
I would take a port of Star Fox Adventures.
I would, too. I would totally take a port. But I want it to come back and have that same magic that it used to have. Because it was so close. They were so close with Star Fox Zero. but they just made it impossible to control. And I think had they not gone that weird route of you're having to look at the gamepad and the screen at the same time, it would have been a perfect game. And then also if they had brought back like Crystal and Kat and everybody.
Oh man. So I thought about this one for a little bit. I want a Splatoon 3 reveal. Okay.
Okay.
But there's going to be some changes. There's going to be more frequent stage rotation, at least every hour instead of every 2 hours, because sometimes 2 hours is a little too much for me.
Can I stop you there and
Like-
say,
But maybe
I would
not
prefer to
announcing
not
it.
have a rotation at all.
I was
Just have
thinking
all
that.
maps
I was thinking
playable
that
at
too. Yeah.
once.
Yeah. But but it's Nintendo, so they're probably going to lower the the frequency of the rotation to an hour. And then I want Salmon Run, but I want it always open. I want more enemies, I want more stages, and I want to be able to choose my loadout. Okay? The campaign's coming back, but it's going to be both single player and co-op. And the Salmonids are the main antagonists this time.
Yeah.
And then at the jump of the game, you can choose to be an Octoling or an Inkling.
Well,
And then DJ Octavio, who's been like the antagonist of the campaign 2 games in a row now, he's now one of the main like musical artists in like in the Inkling world, along with like the Squid Sisters and Off the Hook. So they're like making mixes and stuff. And then they're also gonna add a 50-player battle royale. I don't know how it's gonna work. There's gonna be an Inkling battle royale mode.
oh no. I hear Battle Royale and I shudder now. This is like all due
That would
to the
actually be
landscape
really
that
cool.
we're
It
in.
would be so cute
Yeah.
though.
I love
It
the
would
Battle
be
Royale.
adorable for sure.
I want Splatoon 3 so bad.
Splatoon 3 would be cool. I mean, it would be cool to see DJ Octavio as a main, musical act, because the few songs that he does have in there, they slap. Ooh,
I
they're
think
so
it'd be
good.
funnier if he was making music and people accepted him, but like Pearl and Marina and the Squid Sisters were like jealous because he was getting better ratings than them. It's like, man, all right.
Yeah, I want them to for sure like expand that that Splatoon lore. That'd be great.
That's a good one. Wow. Well, I don't know, like, when to expect that, to be honest.
Yeah, because every time I think they like Splatoon's a dead game, they end up doing more Splatfests, and I've been thinking this for the last like
Yeah.
year and a half.
They're dangling
So-
the carrot. I'm like, I thought you guys were working on Splatoon 3. I'm not complaining, but like, what's going on over there? What about you, Push Dustin?
So I basically want F-Zero GX2. Like I thought F-Zero GX was like the perfect F-Zero game, and like with personality and like the off the wall voice acting that they had, just in that era, the rock soundtrack and everything like that. The gameplay is very tight. It's a little difficult. The story mode is a little difficult, but it's fun. I would love a new F-Zero game, just because I would like to see those characters return.
Yeah, it's like you see so many like instances where it's like Nintendo clearly loves the F-Zero like stuff, because they had the 2 F-Zero stages in Mario Kart. We got the Blue Falcon in there, and then there's like 2 really good like indie developed F-Zero like games on the system.
Yeah.
I think maybe 3 actually, but they're all really good. So yeah, I would love to get a new F-Zero title, and we get to like actually see Captain Falcon as a character along with like all those other F-Zero characters.
Real quick, Push Dustin pretty much said what I was gonna say. I was gonna say F-Zero. I thought F-Zero made too much sense with Nintendo Switch Online, especially after seeing things like Tetris 99 and Super Mario 35.
Yep.
Like, why is there not an
Battle
yeah?
Royale.
Why is there not, even if it's online only, why is there not an F-Zero game on Switch that functions the same way? 30-player race. You can kill the players, because that's the fun of F-Zero versus Mario Kart. And then if you lose, you just hop back into another race. I prefer
That'd be
something in the
dope.
vein of F-Zero GX with a story mode and all these grandiose tracks. But even something just online exclusive, I would love it. It doesn't have to look realistic. It can look cartoony. I really wanted F-Zero, and I thought it made too much sense. But the guy who made GX, I guess, hasn't been contacted by Nintendo. So either Nintendo would have to make it in-house, or they'd have to outsource another company. But I thought it made so much sense, especially with how successful the Switch is doing. Now would be the time to bring back kind of less represented franchises like that. But I don't know.
And Captain Falcon gets so much love in the Smash trailers too.
He
I
really
know.
does.
People
He's
know
in,
who
like,
he is.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Man, not to mention like some of the F-Zero songs are in Smash are some of the best ones.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're really good.
Yeah.
Also, only like 2 or 3 of them are remixed, so just how good the F-Zero soundtrack is.
They hold
Yeah,
up.
they're just good as is.
Yeah,
I cannot get enough of Big Blue.
yeah, man.
All right, who else had one? Because I have one more. Because I'm an
I
overachiever.
have
Sam and I think Yoshiller.
yeah, so I have one main one, but I just really want to throw these two out here that aren't Nintendo developed games, but in terms of dream scenario, I'm still waiting on Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie to somehow magically come back to us, and also Kingdom Hearts, the story so far. I don't think 3 would ever be ported, but
That totally makes. Yeah, I've been saying that too.
still pretty surprised that we didn't get that port. And at this point, I think it's not going to happen, but I'm surprised it hasn't happened.
Hey, for the Switch
Anyway.
Pro and 64 on Nintendo Switch Online.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I
think
want
we're
them
thinking
to
the same thing.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes so many people so happy, especially me.
Me,
I was
But
very
my-
happy.
Yes. My real prediction, dream prediction, would be a either new Kid Icarus game
Please.
or Kid Icarus Uprising
Oh,
remaster of some
Game is so
kind. Because I
That'd be
love
awesome.
Uprising.
yeah. Oh, man. I don't even know what the general consensus is on that game, but
Everyone
I know,
loves it.
I know it's
Famitsu
like,
gave it a perfect score, and they rarely do that. So.
I don't, oh, man, but I really love that game. I'm glad to hear that now that people are loving it, but wow, that game is just so good. I would love to see it again on the Switch.
Yeah, I've been playing my 3DS again, and I'm like, I need to find a copy of Kid Icarus Uprising, and I've looked everywhere, and I'm like, no one's giving that game up. It's just if you got it, you keep it forever. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Plus, it would be really nice to play it without the Circle Pad Pro, because that's how I
Yeah, it was made
originally
to be a
played it.
twin stick third person shooter, dude.
To be able to play it with proper twin sticks would be fantastic.
Yeah, it could be like twin stick on the ground, but then in the air it could be like gyro aiming kinda. That'd
Yeah,
be kinda cool.
for as good as the gyro was, I feel like in Mario Galaxy, I feel like that's totally doable now. I was hesitant before, but to see how well it was done in Galaxy, I have way more faith in that something like that could be done well.
I have
And
one
then maybe
more
it would-
request.
mhm.
Sorry, you guys can keep going if you want to.
Oh no, I was gonna say maybe it would spark the Kid Icarus Uprising to get remade again, or more episodes, because that one Palutena short with the soup and the vegetables was
Great.
so
oh,
good.
that's right. I forgot about that. Wow.
So I have one more thing beyond F-Zero. Next Level Games is clearly working on something. The last thing they had was Luigi's Mansion 3, and they did a fantastic job with that. Nintendo just acquired them, so they're working on something. And
Yep.
I'm hoping it is a sequel to Punch-Out. I think they did a fantastic job with Punch-Out on the Wii. It did well enough to get Little Mac represented in Super Smash Bros. As a playable character, so I think there is demand for a sequel, and I think it would look awesome. I feel like it'd be only
The
appropriate
game holds up.
that they call it Super Punch-Out, just to further confuse everybody with the Punch-Out naming scheme. But I just think
It'll be called New Punch Out just to spite you.
I mean, you know what? I'll take it. Naming good names or not, I would love just another Punch-Out, or at least I want to know what Next Level Games is working on, and I think it's reasonable to expect to see that sometime this year. But maybe not as well. But I'm hoping that we do see it, and I'm hoping that it is Punch-Out.
Oh, that's a good one. I've actually never played the Punch-Out series either.
It's
Me
great.
neither.
The laundry list grows, bro. What's going on?
It's a great
What's going
Let's
on?
Players game.
Please listen.
If you're looking for a game to live stream or Let's Play, like Punch-Out's the perfect game for that. Because that
Alright.
game is all about hilarious reactions.
I'll add that to my list. What's it called?
It's just Punch-Out. But the stupid thing about it is the original NES game is also just called Punch-Out. And the original arcade game is just called Punch-Out. And then there was a sequel to the arcade game called Super Punch-Out. And then there was a Super Nintendo Punch-Out game called Super Punch-Out. So that's why this next one has to be called Super Punch-Out. Because they can only choose between the two names. Unless they bring back
What the
Mike
heck?
Tyson, then they can call it Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. But I don't think they're going to do that. So
They could just call it New Punch-Out.
yeah, well, it doesn't matter at this point. But that's what if you're looking for a game to play, it is on Wii U Virtual Console. So it's a
Sweet.
fantastic game. I think you'll enjoy it.
No, I totally actually just added that to my list. I think I'm gonna look into that later.
Great. All right.
And Donkey Kong's in
Donkey
it.
Kong's.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't look
What?
up how to
He's
beat
like the-
anything.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
Donkey Kong is in Punch Out. Yeah, he's someone you can fight.
All
It's
right.
a very
It's
fun
like the
fight.
secret
I'm
final
sold.
boss.
Yeah, but don't look up how to beat anything because again, the hilarity from that game and the satisfaction of it comes from knowing how to react.
The strategies.
If you do get
Okay.
stuck, yeah, look up how to do something. But your first time going into a fight, try to be spoiled as little as possible.
Okay.
That game's all about the what the moments. So
All right. Here I thought it was just left, right, left, right.
I mean, it is and it isn't. You'll see.
Okay. David, what do you want to say?
Then yeah, one thing that I really want to come to Switch at some point, we've had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, for like the last 4 years, and then Mario Kart 8 for a couple before that. I want Mario Kart 9. I want Mario Kart 9, and I want it to be literally just dump every single Mario Kart track and character into this game, and then everything they're doing with Mario Kart Tour, just give that same type of love to Mario Kart 9. Like I'm talking, like skins. You can give us a battle pass. I'll race all you want to, Nintendo. Like I just want customization. I want all these cool carts and like skins that we've never seen. We're getting fresh renders in Mario Kart Tour. Do you know how crazy that is?
Yeah, there's
I want that in Mario Kart 9.
There's like seasonal events in that game too.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
Sausage Luigi now.
Yeah, later Hosen Luigi, yeah.
So you want one of those trailers which shows all the characters and their numbers in the lower left corner of the screen, and then all of a sudden the game goes to a pause and Rob comes up and it goes, everyone is here, and Rob dashes off and it just shows all the
Dude, I would
characters from
love...
Mario Kart history.
They haven't put Wario Coliseum in Mario Kart yet, and I'm just like, I want to play that. I want to see what that's like with Zero Gravity, dude. That's like one of my favorite tracks.
Oh, for sure.
So if you say all the characters, do you also include all 5 Rosalinas that are in Mario Kart Tour?
I'll take it.
Donkey Kong
Take
Jr.
it.
and Diddy Kong.
Like what they did with Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel, I just want that, but in Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. I would love to play another Mario Kart. I've been playing Mario Kart 8 for like, what, 8 years now?
Yeah, like that game is
Like
muscle
that.
memory for me at this point. Like I want some fresh paint.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, and also give us like more characters in there too, like Inkling and Link and Isabelle and Villager being in there is great. Like we want more, just Super Nintendo All Stars kart or something.
Mm-hmm. Bring back Donkey Kong Jr.
Mhm.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Jr.
Lanky
Yeah,
Kong.
Donkey Kong
Oh,
Jr.
I
's-
remember that.
Isn't Diddy Kong too? I think Diddy Kong got taken out.
Yeah, but they've never.
Mhm.
Both of them have never been in the same Mario Kart games. That's why I'd be like, wow, you'd get to have both.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's not true. There was that Donkey Kong Jr. 8-bit thing in Mario Kart Tour, but I don't know if that really counts.
Yep.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're different characters
They
though.
are. Yeah.
All right, cool. I guess we'll go ahead and transition into our outro here. All right. And I think that's going to do it for today's discussion. Thank you so much for joining me today for this first episode, you guys. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that this podcast is run on a monthly basis and gets regularly updated over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That way you can listen to these discussions in whichever way you prefer. Anyway, we're pretty much at the end here, but before we go, I wanted to take a second, go around the table one last time, and give each of you about 5 seconds to tell us about yourself and where these listeners can find you on the internet, starting with you, Yo Schiller.
Bye-bye, humans! Thank you all for watching. I do a bunch of content on my own channel, youtube.com/YoSchiller. My Twitter account is @RealYoSchiller, because @YoSchiller was taken at the time of this recording. And I edit for a bunch of other YouTubers. Woo!
Woo! Push Dustin, go!
I'm Push Dustin. You can find me just by searching Push Dustin on Google. I do Memory Card. I work at Q Games now, and I also do a memory podcast called Memory Card.
Awesome. And Sam?
Sure. Nintendo Fangirl on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or Nin Fangirl on Twitch because somebody took my username.
I know that
super
feeling.
lame. David, go.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at David RDW, DAVEED RDW, and then also on Twitch and YouTube at Conmen RDW, CONMEN RDW. Yes.
Awesome. And then lastly, Amanda.
You can find me on Twitter at Amanda Van Heil and on Twitch at Panda Princessa, on Insta, Panda Princessa Streams. And then you can see me host Zelda News at Zelda Universe TV on YouTube and hosting the podcast from the Shine Sparkers podcast on, I think we're on iTunes and other podcast things.
Wahoo! All right. And with that concludes our discussion. So once again, if you're still watching or listening, thank you for making it this far, and I look forward to hearing you guys' thoughts in the comments below. We'll be back next month for some more discussion, but for now, there's only one thing left to say before we take off, and that is, of course, as always, I'm alecandstuff, and I will see you all again real soon. Bye!